Every year, Time magazine declares a person of the year. Maybe you've seen it. This year, it's not one person, but many. They are the women who are being called the silence breakers. And they are women who, in the judgment of the magazine, are the people who have most influenced the events of the year. It started in Hollywood. Harvey Weinstein was the first. It spread to other countries, to other industries, to politics. Suddenly, men were made aware of what women have always known. Inappropriate, coercive, unwanted sexual contact is endemic. And it's about power. The power men seek to wield over women. Now, there will be men here thinking, I don't do that. And I'm sure you don't. There are millions of men who would never dream of ever doing anything sexually coercive or inappropriate. But I think all of us, both men and women, are complicit to an extent. Complicit because society is still profoundly masculine. And we often do not notice just how masculine it is. Complicit because our language, especially in church, is still so gendered. Complicit because we all live in a society in which women are routinely underrated, overlooked, discounted, silenced, objectified. A wee example. People in the Church of Scotland are saying, isn't it good that we're having a female moderator next year to mark the 50th anniversary of the ordination of women to the ministry of Word and Sacrament? But I'm saying that the Church needs a female moderator the year after, and the year after that, and the year after that, until we reach the point when a female moderator is no longer the exception, no longer something to be remarked upon. A more serious example. When the whole Weinstein story started to emerge, I asked, why is this leading the news at 10? Surely this is just celebrity tittle-tattle. But I was wrong. It was systemic abuse of power. But I had fallen into the trap of thinking such things were normal. And I'm ashamed of that. And I'm ashamed of the times I've put an arm round a woman's shoulders in a way I intended to be friendly, but which was perceived as an invasion of personal space. And I'm ashamed of the times I've leant in for a continental-style kiss on the cheek, when a simple handshake would have been the appropriate greeting. I've listened, as I'm sure many of us have done, to the testimony of women, from millionaire Hollywood actresses to minimum wage waitresses, describing the comments they get, the parts of their body which men grab, the disturbing situations they're forced into, the sexual assaults they endure. And I am ashamed because I have been largely unaware of just what a dangerous place the world is for women. And it is men with power, even a tiny bit of power, who are making it dangerous. That's what I mean by complicit. It's not just about doing, about touching, feeling, grabbing. It's not just about accepting that that's the way the world is. It's about not even noticing. It's about not noticing that men and men's ways are the norm in politics, in industry, in business, in the professions, in sport, even in the language we speak. And it's about not noticing that in so many ways, women are the exception. There's the World Cup, and there's the Women's World Cup. Need I say more? Against this background, we read about Mary. First, let's list some of the lies which have been told about her. She's meek, mild and submissive. Not true. She's mindless and passive. Not true. She's very young. Well, as John was reading, I didn't hear any biblical evidence for that. She's a virgin. Well, the word that Luke uses means very specifically that she had not yet borne a child. Not the meaning commonly attached to the word virgin now. Why do this? Why tell these lies while at the same time building an image of purity and perfection? Because for the patriarchy, and let's face it, the patriarchy has run the church for 2 millennia. She is a scary, dangerous woman, and nothing scares the patriarchy more than women's sexuality. The lies are told to neutralize her, to preserve the patriarchy, to diminish women, to say to women, you can do pregnancy and motherhood, but leave the rest to men. But the truth about Mary is this: she's strong, neither submissive nor immature. She's full of grace, and her grace is seen in her courage, in her boldness, in her grit, in her convictions about justice. She doesn't actually submit to the angel, but she stands up to him. What kind of greeting is this? How shall this come about, since I have no husband? She's independent, and she's decisive. She doesn't need a man, neither a husband nor a father or a priest, to control her body. She makes her own reproductive choice, and there's no shame in her decision. She's bold and adventurous, so often traveling, like all the prophets before her, alone. And we heard tell of the first journey that is recorded about her, going to Elizabeth. And finally, she's tough. Giving birth in a barn can be no picnic. And that's just the start of it. And then she's political. Mary chooses to be the mother of a holy child, to align her life, her soul, her body with the purposes of God. Purposes she proclaims publicly in Elizabeth's house: to scatter the proud, to bring down the powerful, to lift up those who are oppressed, to fill the hungry with good things, to send the rich away empty. She's a dangerous woman, in partnership with a dangerous God. A dangerous woman like the silence breakers, women who have spoken out, women who have battled not being believed, women who have scattered some of the proud and have brought down some of the powerful, who with sisters and with sympathetic brothers the world over have much, much more still to do. But the thing which makes Mary most dangerous, most scary, is that she is announcing a new kingdom, a kingdom unlike any other, a kingdom for the powerless, not the powerful, a kingdom for the poor, not the rich, a kingdom for the dominated, not the dominators, a kingdom where God is, where the us in God with us, Emmanuel, are at the margins, not at the center, are the abused, not the abusers, are the victims, not the violent. Let Mary's words ring long and loud. If what you want from God's Son is a little comfort, perhaps a little reassurance, if you want things really just to stay much the same, then think again. Mary knew this, that the child she chose to bear was already changing everything. She was the first to believe in him, the first to believe in this dangerous faith. Mary is not only the mother of Christ, she is the mother of all who put their faith in her Son to destroy all that is evil and to change the world for good. She is the mother of all who rally to her call for justice and for equity and to give their lives to the struggle. Amen.